Coming up on this edition of Carolina Insider, how USC and the nation are supporting the transgender community. Also, the latest updates to Alex Murdaugh's financial trial. But first, why some Columbia firefighters might be looking for new jobs. Carolina Insider starts now. Hello, and thank you for joining us. I'm Rachel Manning. Our top story today, Forest Acres police are still searching for a wanted man who escaped from custody last night. According to the state newspaper, 35-year-old Aaron Murphy was being questioned about a commercial burglary. Murphy escaped in handcuffs and headed for a nearby creek. The police department has not said whether Murphy is dangerous and asks people in the area to be alert and take caution. Columbia firefighters are fighting flames and now another kind of stress. As Carolina Insider's Elizabeth Martinez explains, some are upset about their pay.
The Columbia Richland Fire Department is attempting to fill a staffing void. Common areas that once saw years' worth of routine are now standing by as firemen come and go. The Columbia Fire Headquarters downtown dedicates a piece of their common space to those who had to step away from serving the capital city. One Columbia fireman, who wishes to remain anonymous, says the department's pay is leaving his colleagues struggling to support their families.
Just about every day we have conversations with a new name that comes up, talking about getting out the fire service to provide for the family.
Some who stay with the department are left with no choice but to work a second job. Other departments in the state offer a higher base salary despite responding to fewer calls. The starting salary for a Columbia firefighter, $34,174, with a call volume of 34,307 calls. A Charleston firefighter's base pay, $43,561, with a call volume of 19,604 calls. Columbia City Council passed a budget plan in June, then implemented an increase in the starting pay from $34,000 to roughly $43,000, a change that went into effect just last week. Columbia Fire Chief Aubrey Jenkins says this plan was proposed to ensure the city stayed competitive with surrounding departments.
Couple things that we want this pay plan to do, not only to recruit but retain as well. So we want to make sure we take care of the folks that are here as well.
While every department in the state pulls from the same competitive pool, Chief Jenkins says he is confident in the department's own training program and its potential to keep firemen. For the fireman I spoke with, he says it's all about the desire to serve.
But as for myself, I plan on sticking around and making ends meet.
For Carolina Insider, I'm Elizabeth Martinez.
There's a new update in the Alex Murdaugh trial. According to the state newspaper, Murdaugh's lawyers are requesting to move his financial trial to a different county to find a fair and impartial jury. If the trial isn't moved or the jury stays the same, his legal team will ask for a one-year delay. The trial is scheduled for later this month in Beaufort County. As this case evolves, the Columbia community heard from a journalist covering it from the start. Mandy Matney, host of the popular Murdaugh Murders podcast, appeared at the law school on Monday. She spoke openly on her experience covering the trial, dealing with critics and mental burnout. Matney also previewed her new book called Blood on Their Hands, about her time working in local news and creating the podcast. A couple of other events caught our attention on campus this week. It's Trans Awareness Week at Carolina. Here with that story in today's Cocky Spotlight is Amanda Petty. Amanda?
Thanks, Rachel. This year, the state of South Carolina was the latest to consider anti-trans legislation. According to the Human Rights Campaign, almost 36% of trans youth are living in states that have passed bans on gender-affirming care. Meanwhile, USC is celebrating National Transgender Awareness Week by learning about these issues. Student Health Services is hosting the tabling event all week. They are there to educate on local resources and inform on trans issues. They are also providing training on injection safety and gender-affirming haircuts. Yesterday, I was on Davis Field during the event, and I spoke with a trans student about how these issues are impacting her community.
They just want their identities to be like acknowledged as like just as valuable and just as like normal as anyone else's identity.
The tabling event will last until Friday and is from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you want to learn more, stop on by to hear how you can spread awareness and support the community. Back to you, Rachel.
The infamous Carolina-Clemson blood battle is also underway this week. Students and faculty and staff at USC can donate blood for local hospitals in a competition with Clemson. Organizers have set up several locations across campus. You can make an appointment through USC's website, but they welcome walk-ins too. If you need an extra push, here are a couple fast facts. One donation can save up to 3 lives in every 2 seconds. Someone in the U.S. needs that blood. The event ends Friday at 6 p.m. That's it for this edition of Carolina Insider, a student production here in the Kennedy Greenhouse studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communications. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you back here Friday.